In the 7th book of his histories, Herodotus records a line most people never read. He says Leonidas chose his 300 not from men without sons, but specifically from men who had sons already living. This is not a footnote. This is the entire story. You don't know that yet. You are 7 years old. Sparta, 473 BC. They took you from your mother at dawn. She stood in the doorway and said nothing. A Spartan mother does not weep at the gate. 22 boys march to the barracks at Platanistas while the city is still dark. The man waiting is called the paidonomos. He examines your hands, feet, and teeth. He looks at you the way a bronze caster looks at ore. Not asking who you are. Asking what he can make out of you. He nods. You sleep on reeds that night. Cut from the Eurotas with bare hands. Wet, cold. 3 boys cry in the dark. You don't, not because you are brave. Because the boy beside you is watching. And the paidonomos is watching the boy beside you. In the agoge, everything is input. Nothing is private. Your name no longer matters. What matters is whether you are what the nod said you were. You will spend the next 21 years proving the nod was right. Sparta will spend the next 21 years deciding how to spend you. You are 11. The hills above Sparta, 469 BC. You have not eaten a full meal in 4 years. This is not cruelty. This is instruction. The lesson is, manage your body invisibly. The agoge teaches you to steal rations from the mess stores. If caught, you are beaten. Not for stealing, but for being caught. The lesson is not about food. You steal a live fox from a farmhouse 3 miles east and carry it inside your tunic. The farmer questions the row of boys. The fox tears at your stomach with both hind feet. You stand still. You bleed into the linen. You count seconds. You say nothing. The farmer dismisses you. You kill the fox behind a wall. Eat it raw. Liver first. Most people who hear this story think it is about toughness. They are wrong. It is about the face. The fox is ripping through you. And your face shows nothing. That separation between what the body feels and what the face is permitted to show is not a survival technique. It is technology Sparta is building inside an 11-year-old. A man who cannot be read cannot be predicted. A man who cannot be predicted cannot be stopped. You are 11. You have 10 more years of this. By the time they are done, little will remain. You are 18. The hills north of Sparta, 462 BC. 2 months. 1 blade. Alone. The Crypteia. Let me be precise about what this is. The Helots, Sparta's enslaved population, outnumber free Spartans 6-1. They are the existential threat Sparta has never solved. The Crypteia manages it. Boys go into the hills. Helots who show leadership do not come back. The math stays manageable. You have killed 2 men this month. In the dark, unarmed men. You don't remember their faces. You remember the moment before. The pause. And the discovery, cold and permanent, that the pause is a gate you control. This is what the agoge was building toward since you were 7. Not strength, not skill. The threshold, because most humans, at the edge of the irreversible action, flinch. Evolution built that flinch in. A species that kills without hesitation does not last long. Sparta decided it needed men with the flinch removed. The Crypteia was the removal. You come back from the hills in autumn. Lighter. Sandals worn through. You say nothing. Neither does anyone who has returned from the Crypteia. The silence is not guilt. The silence is the completed product. You are 21. The Agora of Sparta, 459 BC. The ceremony takes 4 minutes. They hand you the crimson cloak. The room nods and returns to eating. No speech. No parade. Sparta builds monuments only for the dead. It knows the difference between the two. That night, black broth, pig blood, salt, vinegar, cooked to paste. A Spartan told an Athenian, "It is fortunate you only have to taste it." We have to become it. Your shield. Round. Bronze face. Poplar core. 28 inches. 32 pounds. 2 miles every morning before the meal. Not drilling. Just carry it. Left arm. Always left. Now listen carefully to what the shield actually does. It does not protect you. Your shield covers the man to your left. His shield covers you. The man to his left covers him. Every man in the Spartan line is protected by someone else's shield. And protects someone else. Break the chain anywhere and the line collapses. Instantly. Completely. A Spartan soldier is not a warrior. He is a link. The link has no independent value. The chain is the value. This is why 300 hold that pass against hundreds of thousands. Not because they are heroes. Because they are a system with no off switch. You are 21. You are beginning to understand. The nod at the gate was not a compliment. It was an acquisition. You are 28. Sparta. March 480 BC. The runner comes before dawn. He reads from a list. 300 names. Yours is in the third hundred. You get up. You pack. Now I want to return to Herodotus. Book 7. Chapter 205. He writes that Leonidas chose men who had sons living. Not the unmarried. Not the childless. Men who had already produced the next generation. Sit with what this means. Leonidas is not choosing the best fighters. He could. Sparta has better fighters than you. He is choosing men who have completed their biological obligation to the state. Men whose genetic contribution is already secured. Men who are, and there is no softer word, expendable. You have a son, 3 years old. His name is Alexios. You have been on the list since Alexios was born. You did not know this. But the paidonomos knew. The calculation that began with a nod at the gate has been running 21 years. It has now produced its answer. You stand at the edge of Alexios' sleeping mat. You stand at the edge of Alexios' sleeping mat the morning of the march. You stand there for 11 seconds. You count them without deciding to count them. You do not look at his face. Because you already understand. Sparta has gotten from you everything it needed before it sends you to where you will die. The march begins at sunrise. You don't look back, not because you are indifferent. Because looking back serves nothing. The Agoge taught you that the day you were 7. August 20th, 480 BC, Thermopylae. The pass is 50 feet wide. A limestone cliff on one side. The Aegean Sea on the other. Hot springs push sulfur through the rock. The ground is wet. You spend the first morning building a stone wall across the mouth of the pass. The Persians arrive in the afternoon. Not a patrol. Not a scouting party. The full host, spreading across the northern hills like a shadow with no edge. Banners. Thousands of them. Every color the Mediterranean produces. The allied Greeks stop working and stare. You keep moving stones. The immortals come first. 10,000 of Xerxes' elite. Named because their number never decreases. One falls. Another steps forward. Always 10,000. Organized. Brave. Battle experienced. The pass is 50 feet wide. They arrived 2 men across. The Spartan line meets them 2 men across. The Spartan line is a system built from men with the flinch removed. 3 waves. The third breaks with less certainty in the eyes than the first. At nightfall Xerxes sends a rider. Lay down your weapons. Accept the mercy of the King of Kings. Leonidas answers in 4 words. Mol and labe. Come and take them. You hear this from 20 feet away. You eat your ration. You sleep. You are not moved by the phrase. You passed through something at 11 behind a stone wall. That made phrases like this feel accurate rather than brave. Day 2. August 21st, 480 BC. Xerxes cycles units. Medes, Scythians, Bactrians, Ethiopians. He is looking for variation in the Spartan defense. There is no variation. By midday your arms carry the specific exhaustion of accumulated work. Not weakness. Accumulated work. The distinction matters. Dionysus, the man to your left, hears a soldier say the Persian arrows will block the sun. Dionysus considers this. Tot en skia maxaumetha. Then we shall fight in the shade. He returns to eating. This is not a joke. This is a man who has already resolved every question about tomorrow. In the afternoon, another Persian writer, gold this time, command of all Greece on behalf of Persia. Leonidas dismisses him. And now I need to tell you about a man who came to this pass 3 days ago. His name is Ephialtes, a local Greek. He came to the lines and asked to fight alongside you. He was examined. He walks with one shoulder lower than the other. He cannot hold the aspis without creating a gap in the line. He was turned away. The same gate that passed you. The same evaluation. The same system. He failed it. You passed. He went home. Then Xerxes arrived with 500,000 men. And Ephialtes came back with the only thing of value he had left. A goat path through the mountain. Narrow. Long. Used by shepherds. It bypasses the pass entirely. It ends behind you. He entered the Persian camp tonight. He told them everything. The Paidonamos gate built the weapon that will kill you. The same nod that accepted you rejected Ephialtes. The rejection is what made him dangerous. Sparta manufactured its own destruction using the same logic it used to manufacture you. His name is Ephialtes. He knows the path. The immortals are already moving. Night between day 2 and day 3. Leonidas calls the commanders to a small fire. He is quiet for a long time. When he speaks, the words are flat and few. The Persians know the mountain path. By dawn the immortals will be behind you. The geometry is complete. 3 sides. The wall and sea on the 4th. He tells the allied commanders they can leave. He is releasing them, not dismissing them. The Thespians, 700 of them, refuse to go. They stay. Most others leave before dawn. The 300 Spartans do not discuss it. Here is what I want you to understand about that silence. The allies who left made a decision. They chose survival. This is human. This is rational. The Spartans did not make a decision. There is no decision available to a system whose only mode is hold. The Agoge didn't build men who stay. It built men for whom leaving is not a grammatical possibility. You are not brave. You are structured. The distinction matters, not because it diminishes what happens here, but because it tells you what Sparta actually built, and what it cost to build it, and who paid that cost. Year by year, from age 7. You sleep 3 hours. Deeply. Your body has always known how to do this before a final action. You wake at the 3rd watch. You eat everything remaining. Dry bread. Olives. The wine dregs. Leonidas walks the perimeter in the dark. He stops near you for 3 seconds. You see the line of his jaw against the low fire behind him. He moves on without a word. That is the last time you see Leonidas alive. Dawn, August 22, 480 BC. Fog off the Aegean sits in the lower half of the pass. You cannot see the Persian line. The sound of 100,000 men waking is not noise. It is pressure. It sits behind your ears like the change before a storm. It sits behind your ears like the change before a storm. You oil the spear shaft. 7 feet. Iron blade. Maintained every morning for 7 years. The motion is less about the blade than about the hands. The hands need the familiar. Pantites is not to your left. He was sent north as a messenger before this began. He will be the only Spartan among the 300 to survive. Not by failing, by timing. When he returns to Sparta, they will give him a name. Trisontes, trembler. Excluded from the mess. Barred from training, spoken to by no one. He will die within the year. Body intact, everything else already gone. This is what Sparta does with products that do not complete their function. The same system that selected you at the gate. The same nod that decided you were worth it. It has an equivalent for investments that don't pay out. The word for it is trembler. And it kills as surely as a spear. You know the fog and the sulfur and the weight of the shield on your left arm. You know the sound of Persian war drums, low and rhythmic in building, at full morning light. It is August, 480 BC. You are 28 years old. Your son is 3. Your name will not appear in Herodotus. The number 300 will. You set down the oilcloth. You pick up the spear. You stand. They come from the front and from the mountain path above, simultaneously. 3 sides. The wall and sea on the 4th. The Spartan line contracts. Shields locked. The spear lasts a quarter hour. You draw the sword. The sword shatters at the hilt against a Persian shield rim. You use the shield, the edge of it, the boss, the full 32 pounds. You break a man's jaw with the rim. You take a spear through the right shoulder. Pressure. Not pain. Not yet. You stay on your feet. 40 left. Then 30. The circle pulls tighter. 20. 15. They drive you to the low stone wall you built on the first morning. Back against stone. Back against stone. 12. 8. 5. You are 28 years old. 180 pounds. Scarred tissue on both forearms and shins. The agoge took you at 7. 21 years of cold floors and designed hunger. The crypteia, the shield, the silence, all of it arriving at this specific morning. You are not afraid. Fear requires a future you are still trying to reach. The morning you stood at the edge of your son's mat and counted 11 seconds. That was the last morning you had a future to reach for. Everything since has been the function. Here is what Herodotus does not record. 3 days. The pass held 3 days. Long enough for the fleet to organize at Salamis. Long enough for the Greek city-states to stop arguing and start moving. Long enough for the idea of unified Greek resistance to become a real thing. Sparta's 300 bought the margin. Athens survived. Greece survived. The margin was enough. The thing Greece was building. Democracy. Philosophy. The radical idea that individuals have standing against power. Survived. Built on 300 men selected not for valor but for replaceability. Built on a king who read an oracle as a purchase order. Built on a traitor turned away at the same gate that passed you. Built on a child taken from his mother at dawn in 473 BC. Who stood at his son's sleeping mat 21 years later and knew, without being told, exactly what the 11 seconds meant. History calls this heroism. Maybe history is right. Maybe heroism was always this cold. Maybe the monuments and the poems and the movies were never about what happened. Only about what we needed it to mean. You held. You held. You held. You lived this once. And now, you're history.